Who are we?
We are Islam's peace.
We want to eradicate Islamophobia.
Our home is Britain, and we represent peace.
It's a new ad campaign in Britain. Islam is peace. Buses and trains are sporting the legend, Islam is peace, and an array of images, including that of a Muslim policewoman, a Muslim scout group, and a Muslim chef, attempt to show that Muslims in Britain are ordinary folks and should not be regarded with suspicion. The group's website derides as a misconception the idea that jihad means holy war. It speaks about jihad as involving a struggle to improve the quality of life in society and the struggle against injustice, oppression, and tyranny, but says nothing about armed struggle. It leaves unexplained how innumerable thousands of Muslims worldwide could ever have gotten the idea that jihad had something to do with violence. The site also dismisses the idea that terrorism is supported in Islam, saying this misconception is one of the most widely held misconceptions about Islam today, and quoting the Quran to show that it is clearly Islamically unlawful to murder an innocent person. However, it doesn't specify what qualifies a person as innocent, and thus does not answer the jihadist claim that no non-Muslims are innocent. As the British jihadist Anjem Choudary explained, as far as Muslims are concerned, you're innocent if you are a Muslim.
I just wonder why you won't condemn it when your own leader, Omar Bakri, said quite simply, I condemn the killing of innocent people on the 20th of July.
Yeah,
why won't you say what he said?
No, at the end of the day, innocent people, when we say innocent people, we mean Muslims. As far as non-Muslims are concerned, they have not accepted Islam, and as far as we're concerned, that is a crime against God.
I want to be clear about what you're saying. This is very important. You're saying only Muslims can count as innocent people.
As far as Muslims are concerned, you're innocent if you are a Muslim, then you're innocent in the eyes of God. If you are non-Muslim, then you're guilty of not believing in God. Yes, there were many victims.
You're guilty. Are you seriously suggesting that everybody on those tube trains and on that bus in London on July the 7th was in some way a legitimate target?
You don't allow me to answer the question fully, Stephen. You're never going to get to the bottom of it. Let me begin by saying, as a Muslim, you must have allegiance where the Sharia says that you have allegiance. You must hate and love for the sake of Allah. You must praise and dispraise for what the Sharia says, you praise and dispraise. So as a Muslim, I must support my Muslim brothers and sisters, wherever they are in the world. I must have allegiance with them. I must cooperate with them. I must love them. And similarly, on the other hand, I must have hatred towards everything which is non-Islamic.
So if you condemn attacks on innocents, you've done absolutely nothing to condemn the actual jihadist point of view. The Islam is Peace campaign centers around a 5-point plan.
Here's our 5-point plan. Number 1, to fight Islamophobia. To monitor and fight Islamophobia wherever it occurs. Number 2, to create dialogue. To create permanent channels of dialogue and debate between the Muslim community and the rest of Britain, ensuring that your voice is always in the mainstream media. To partner with business and government to ensure that our concerns like racism and social exclusion are understood. Number 3, to call on our government to work towards a just and lasting peace in areas of conflict around the world, helping eliminate the injustices that foment division and nurture violence. To be creative. To ensure that we have our finger on the pulse of the British mainstream. To understand what our community wants the world to hear. Number 5, to create friendships. To create a culture of understanding. To create a future of dialogue and a lot of new friendships. After all, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, anyone who believes in Allah, let him be good to his neighbor.
Did you notice? A few things are glaringly absent from this. There's not one word about fighting against the jihadist ideology of Islamic supremacism within English mosques and Islamic schools. Instead, point 1 of the campaign is to fight against Islamophobia, as if the only reason why anyone regarded Muslims with suspicion was because of bigotry and hatred by non-Muslims. Well, I've got news for you. If Islamophobia exists at all, it is a result of the over 9,000 violent attacks committed by Muslims in the name of Islam since 9/11. If the Islam is Peace organizers really want to end Islamophobia, here's my own simple 5-point plan. To end Islamophobia, Muslims should, number 1, focus their indignation on Muslims committing violent acts in the name of Islam, not on non-Muslims reporting on those acts. 2, renounce definitively not just terrorism, but any intention to replace the U.S. Constitution or the British Constitution or the constitutions of any non-Muslim state with Islamic Sharia law, even by peaceful means. 3, teach Muslims the imperative of coexisting peacefully as equals with non-Muslims on an indefinite basis. 4. Begin comprehensive international programs in mosques all over the world to teach against the ideas of violent jihad and Islamic supremacism. 5. Actively work with Western law enforcement officials to identify and apprehend jihadists within Western Muslim communities. If Muslims do these 5 things, voila, Islamophobia will vanish. No slick PR campaign will be needed at all. No, don't thank me. It's on the house. I'm Robert Spencer.